Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got an exciting last video in our series of inner healing. It's all going to be about backing up everything we've went over with the Word of God. It's really important to get a solid foundation to know with confidence that this is something that the Lord approves of, and this is the way that we were designed to heal. We're going to go into the verses on why this works, and then we're also going to talk about the benefits of trusting in the Lord. Thank you for sticking around, and let's get into it. Jesus said, "Any one of them who is with sin among you, let him throw a stone at her first." When they heard what Jesus had to say to them, they were convicted, and one by one they left. Jesus was alone with the woman, and he asked her, "Where are your accusers?" And she answered, "They are gone." He said to her, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." Matthew 8:3-11. We talked about having a reparenting group, a place where we create a safe space for people to process some of the trauma and emotions that they've never been able to talk about before. We want to mirror Jesus. We want to offer support so that people can make better decisions the next time around. But if we act like judges and we start telling people what to do or how they could have done this better, it's not going to help them get to that next level. So we want to build their confidence. We want to build their ability to trust not only God, but themselves. Many of these people are just broken down and not confident in themselves. This is the whole point of our group system, is that we're there to be like Jesus. God sent his son into the world, not to judge the world, but to save the world through him. John 3:17. Paul said, "You were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. Therefore, each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to his neighbor, for we are all members of one body." Ephesians 4:22-25. This does not mean encouraging them in their bad behavior. It's just supporting them, listening to them. We're not going to be speaking negatively, kicking them while they're down, but we're also not going to be encouraging something that's not healthy for them either. So just keep that in mind. People who conceal their sins will not prosper, but if they confess and turn from them, they will receive mercy. Proverbs 28:13. My brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of any kind, consider it nothing but joy, because you know that the testing of your faith produces patience, one of the fruits of the Spirit. And let patience have its full effect, so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. James 1:2-4. Emotional healing is a process. Sometimes when things are a process, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, especially when it comes to childhood trauma and things that have happened to us that are near and dear to our heart. We're opening up an old wound and we're bringing up some stuff. We're clearing out that infection, and sometimes it's yucky and it takes a little time, right? So we have to give ourselves grace and patience as we go through that process. Confess your faults one to another and pray for one another for healing. James 5:16. When you are going to this group and you're hearing all this stuff, it's great that you're all supporting each other while you're there. You might not have time to pray for each other right then and there. It might be a circle of a lot of people to get through, and the group has to close at a certain time. But I think it's really important when we receive someone's negative stuff that we lift them up in prayer. It's a gift that we can give these people. So we're not just going to group, getting something, but that we can serve the Lord even behind the scenes by praying about the things that we've heard, by honoring those people well, by keeping their secrets and their pain for the Lord. And that is being a good supportive friend, not just supporting them in the moment, but outside of that moment, you can be providing care and support by bringing them up in prayer. The one thing I love about sharing mistakes is that it levels the playing field. Everybody out there are doing dumb things and making mistakes in different ways. When we hear that, it gives us a sense of security in our humanity, of knowing maybe I'm being really hard on myself because I'm hearing all this other stuff. It's making me feel less and less alone in my imperfection. And we're coming out of shame. We're also coming out of pride, because when we think managing how other people see us, we are coming across as better, that can separate us from actually connecting with people. We have to remember the ultimate goal of doing these groups is to allow people to see who God has created them to be. Once they begin to accept the gifts and the talents and the traumas and the dramas that they carry, they can actually use all of that for the Lord. I personally have experienced this for myself. Every single time a person has helped me along my journey, I have remembered that, the kind and thoughtful things that people have done to speak into my life, to break things off, to pray for me. When I receive something, there's something inside of me that goes, I need to pour out in that same way. What I'm doing right here, right now, is part of my healing process, but it's also part of my gift back to the Lord. There's something inside of me that feels compelled to disciple other people who may not be where I'm at right now. I'm not some great expert, but what I am is crawling out of this hole, pulling you guys along, saying, hey, this is what I've done. Let's get out of this together. That's the powerful thing about allowing the Lord to take our pain and turn it into something that has a purpose. Think about all the painful things that have happened to you. If you bring them to the Lord and say, the enemy has attacked me in such a way, when I get healed, Lord, I want to dedicate this pain for your glory. I want to use it for your glory. I want to show people what you can do with someone who says, here's my wretched life. Help me fix it, and I will show other people the way. That is a beautiful gift we can give him. A lot of us feel like, I don't know what God's called us to do. Maybe what God is calling you to do right now is to get healthy yourself so that you can show someone who's going through what you're going through right now in the future the way. None of this pain will be wasted. It all has to do with your ability to see and recognize that is your powerful tool to use against the enemy that tried to destroy you. Throw it right back in his face and say, Satan, thanks for trying to destroy me. I'm just going to start equipping other people to get through the stuff that you're putting them through. That's how the army of God empowers, strengthens, and encourages each other. We have to get healthy, and we have to be available for the Holy Spirit to use us. Let's get mad at the right person. Don't be mad at God. Don't be mad at the people that have hurt you in your past. The enemy has used vessels who are weak, who are in the flesh, who weren't aware, who weren't sensitive, to create wounds in us. He does that to everybody. So he's not just picking on you. It ends with me. It ends today. I am not going to continue the cycle of cruelty. I'm not going to be one of those hurt people that's going to hurt people. I decide what I'm going to do with my life, and I'm going to give it to God, and I'm going to use it for his glory. I hope that this series encouraged you. I hope you fell in love with this book. I appreciate this author so much, and hopefully one of these days I can interview him for this channel. Take care, you guys, and I will talk to you later.